Hello, I'm Eagle. Eagle Gardens. Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 364.5. Wormhole. Hopefully, you guys are just coming back from watching. Fun episode with Alex Hardy. Fun guy, knowledgeable dude. Always good conversation. Jason Isom popping in person chat. I can't believe I sat through that whole fucking episode. Fucking top chat. Fucking top chat. Why is there even fucking top chat? Joe White, make me shake, baby. Mr. Red Pill. Dozer. What's up? I am a fucking Merc fan. I don't know if you guys dig Merc, but man, definitely some good tunes, man. What's wrong with talk shit, Merc? Fuck. Fuck, Merc. Can't believe I just heard that. I was just giving you props. Sumu, what's up? Spiky. Southern BT grower. Sorry. This live chat going. Miss Red Pill popping in. What's up, Miss Red Pill? Merge shut down. Oh, and he's gone. He'll be back. T-Berry, T-Lou. Morning to you. 25.
Yo,
what's up, Mr. Red Pill?
What's up? That was a pretty intriguing episode.
Can't hear you. Maybe it's just me, though.
It says I'm not muted.
It's probably me, Red Pill. Let me check my headset.
Okay.
It's definitely me. Definitely.
Maneuver. Oh, maybe I should show the damn slab.
What's up? You think I'd be like the one? Just try talking to me now, Red Pill.
Hello. Testing.
There you go. I can hear you now, brother.
Right. Sweet. Getting maneuvered here.
You know what's funny is I talked to this cat the other day, and he tells me, I checked out the show last night. You were talking to a bunch of guys. This one guy had a fucking slab. It looked like the kitchen table he was dabbing off of. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I wound up dabbing the rest of that, and that's the second slab I have now. I'm already working away at the corner here.
It's dedication right there. Yeah, I love that. It's fucking dedication.
Yeah.
And I think that makes my level of dedication look fucking silly, to be honest with you. Because I know when I'm fucking like fire up a joint, I'm like, I am finishing this joint. But rarely have I sat in front of a slab and going, I am gonna put you down. This thing's going down.
I need a little bit more variety. I need if this was 4 smaller slabs of different varieties, I think that would work better. I go through it fast, like if it's just that plain old jar of distillate or 1 whole ounce slab or something, then it just kind of, Yeah, I don't know. I need to switch it up more than one variety a day.
I think
I
that's
think
good logic, to be honest with you. So, what would your second profile be?
is in like multiple things a day or something else.
Yeah. I mean, you just can't just. Would it be a different form other than BHO? Are you talking about like a distillate and you know
Um,
BHO alternate them, or are you talking like different strains or different profiles?
I think it would be having access to everything, even like pens and like capsules and edibles. Something I do have some gummies I always keep forgetting about that I haven't eaten. Uh, but I think it's ideally I would like it doesn't have to be only like a BHO or a live resin or anything like that. It's mainly like the form of how I want to smoke it. So lately I've been craving some like traditional type hash. And my preferred way of getting to smoke that would be, or inhale it, would be, you know what a herb iron is or ember? It's like fancy
Uh, yeah,
420
yeah,
mark
yeah, 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 yeah.
modern irons.
It's almost like a fucking soldering iron, isn't it?
Yeah,
Something like that. It stays hot. You just touch it, barely touch it. Use the heat. You don't actually even touch it.
yeah. So something like that with, actually, I have a buddy that has it, and I just never bothered him to send it out to me because I didn't want to. I just haven't had a little extra cash to pay for it, to reimburse him for it. But he snatched up one of the last, you'll know this, the Earl Dab sidecar pipes from Subcool. It's one of the last ones that they had. I don't know if he continues making them today, but there's a batch of them from a few years ago. So something like that, or my Chem Dog pipe, maybe even a nice bubbler. So like could be some like Frenchy style temple ball, or like more brick type hash, dry sift turned into some kind of traditional looking finished product or a consolidated product, and then with a little pipe or a little bubbler with one of those fancy 420 marketed soldering irons. I'd really like to do that. But then just the same, I have a slab in front of me, and it's been a while since I got a new glass dab rig, and I still wouldn't really ever quit or abandon that form of it. So between if I was going out on a walk with the dog and I had a pen, plus if I was going somewhere where I couldn't really do either and I had to be medicated, I would want capsules. Because the thing with, even if they're gummies, which are my preferred edible, if they're not that really high milligrammage, you have to eat a whole lot of it. And then I'm just sitting there eating more sugar than I want to. So I just think it's easier to do capsules, just swallow a bunch of capsules. They can be anywhere from, whatever, 10 to 30 to 100 milligrams. Just means you either take 3 or you take 1, depending on what dose they are. And then being able to switch back and forth between modern dabbing and old school hash smoking. And then even have, like I said, the jar of aesthetic purple weed. And this is where people might, I might lose people. But I grew up rolling and smoking more blunts than I did joints. So I probably would have some tobacco filled cheap blunt wraps, as bad as they are, as people said it would ruin. I think it would ruin the flavor, but it's like I said, mainly just for nostalgia purposes and the aesthetic purposes. So like I have a jar of mediocre or average quality mids, people call it. I have a jar of mids that the camera's resting on, or the phone's resting on. It'd be real cool to have something, like a ninja fruit or a coracle or you name it, whatever your favorite purple strain is, and then just be able to roll that up. So I would be consuming more if I had more of a plethora of stuff to go through there, as much as I already do right now. It would just be more well spread.
So do you think the current like push in extracts? I mean, there's a lot of us that enjoy them for certain reasons. I enjoy the hash. I'll do dabs from time to time, but it seems like it's really being pushed. Do you think as we move on with recreational or more large scale growing, that extracts will be pushed further and further just as a way to get around proper drying and large scale, basically large scale drying and curing operations? Why go through that when they can chop and freeze and send it right to the processor versus a bad dry and then their whole harvest is fucked. You know what I'm saying?
I do think for a while you're going to still see stores where they want to have everything available, like topicals, uh, liquid, form edibles, other types of edibles, everything from stuff that's got sugar into it, and then everything that's got some dietary thing, like a gluten-free or keto or vegan and all that. So all that has to, in some form be turned into um, not necessarily a concentrate, but it has to be processed to get it into those forms. And the same as with those dab rigs that are more on the go, like the Cartas and the Puffcos and stuff. People still want concentrates for that because then you don't have to use a torch and you can take it wherever you want to. Those are going to phase out uh, what I wouldn't call traditional, but OG form of dabbing. Heating a glass nail up with a torch. There's going to be way more different electric devices made for that. But I don't ever see people. There's always, even I would say, even people being brought up today, they're still grew up with some kind of flower market, so you're still probably going to see flour, unprocessed, unconcentrated flowers on shelves too. But me personally, like how you led that off with the ease of it and the hassle of it, that's probably what's going to be ending up how I do it, just because I do like concentrates more than I do like flowers. So not that it's not that you have to not worry about trimming and curing, but taking it and then processing it into something that I can do, medicate with almost more immediately rather than having like a 2-week dry time or a 2-week cure time. If I do live resin, I can pretty much have it in 24 hours, or if I've made it into water hash, deep, put in the deep freezer or the harvest right freezers, took it out, pressed it into rosin, the same thing. It's just more readily available faster. I think.
I don't think I'll ever get away from the flower, to be honest with you, man. I kind of think it's a dry shit. Um, I don't think I'll ever get away from the flower. You watched me the last year, gonna really take my dabbing up, and then it plateaued there for a while. Shit, I've got a few grams of some, nice dabbable stash. Shit, I guarantee some of the hash in that jar right there is dabbable. I threw some in there the other day just to see if it would dab. And sure shit, and that shit, burned up. Of course, there's a little bit left over. It's fucking bubble hash, but it's still, nice melted. Got a nice head off it, but I came right back to flour. Wasn't just breaking the rigs. It was fucking. I just enjoy the flower. You know, it's just something about that breaking it down. That break. That break sitting around for a minute, having a cup of coffee, smoke a joint. I don't know.
I think I like not being not being without it, especially if I'm growing again and I then I'm definitely gonna have flower. And a part of uh, attributes that I like to look for, that I like in concentrates, maybe it gets overlooked because it was like a term that only got applied to, or loosely applied to something, and then said about convenience thing, the whole plant, or that kind of concentrate became more popular because it was one step taken out of the process. But back when people would make shatter wax, or concentrate and call it nug run, and then usually to people that would mean the nugs that you have curing in a jar. Those are the same nugs that now you're not smoking them, but you're taking them and you're going to do a nug run extract on them. Not the popcorn nugs, or not the plant that you harvest and don't trim, you just let hang dry and then leave the sugar leaves on there and then blast it. It just meant curable or cured jarred nugs that are, same would be for someone like someone who's enjoying flower would smoke, right? Uh, but for me, I think a lot of that is the better the flower, typically would make the better the concentrate. And you're only going to recognize that if you're familiar enough with the flower. Like we talked about the other night about testing stuff. If you got carried away with thinking that you're going to make the best extract with something that maybe smelled good, and you didn't, that's all you really went with, like just how it smelled and looked on the plant. But then there's not a lot of testing in it. It wasn't really high in THC, and the terpenes that it did have were more of the louder monoterpenes, or ketones or esters or aldehydes. So it's deceiving because 1 or 2% essential oils or terpenes that are there make you think it's like 10% based on how loud it smells. So if you didn't
How
run
long
on
do
that,
esters carry in the bud?
that's another thing. I think people over exaggerate how easy it is to lose those. I think the ones that we're always going to smell, the day that we harvest, or as it's drying, or as it's curing, those ones that are the very first to go away and change. I think they're just in so low quantities and they're so volatile that it's almost impossible to fathom the small amount measurable that our nose can detect. Right. So we're losing it in mass quantities, but really our noses are just that good at detecting super small quantities of that. It's all still present in there. You really have to let weed just sit out in the open, or maybe out in the sunlight, to degrade that at a fast rate, to deplete it of all its volatile, uh, uh, aromatic components of the essential oil. So I think that's over exaggerated a little bit when people say, you're constantly losing that. And if you have too hot of a grow room, or if you're too hot and flowery, you're losing them. Or if you're too hot and drying, you're losing them. To an extent, maybe if it's like 110 in your grow room, or it's like 90 degrees in your dry room, that would do it. But if we're as over precautious as we all tend to be, and all OCD with what we do, then I think we're taking well enough care of it. So, but the ketones are it goes tit for tat, but the ketones tend to be the most loudest that we define. Whereas like raspberries, like natural raspberries, the flavoring that you taste or sense in raspberries makes a 0.01% of the weight there. So that's just how it's not really abundant, but you taste it, and you smell and you taste it that strong, even though there's almost nothing there. So,
So what effects do you think you get from the esters? What part do they play in the effect?
um, I think because those are so low quantity. That's something that it would probably have to get tested, and I think that's more of a contributing factor than more than anything. Not just the THC, but what we call indica and sativa, and how people shop at a dispensary and they want, indica dominant hybrids or something, or sativa dominant hybrids, or just hybrids. Uh, there's probably going to be a time where that's all, a misunderstanding of how it's going to affect you. But those really minor little component ones, I don't know, from like just, whatever you call anecdotal, just going off the way I feel and never having a test to know it, just going off my nose. But the more peculiar, the terpene ones usually tend to be the ones that you have to smoke a littler amount of, or if people have a lower tolerance, what they call like the one hitter quitter type weed. Right. I don't really tend to have that effect that much anymore, but any unique feeling that I do get off something tends to be off something that I really also like the smell of. There's only a few and it's not even something that I like the smell of. It's just as a unique smell. I don't really get along with the way Super Silver Haze makes me feel. I think I mentioned that before. It has like the least pleasurable effect or high to it. I mean, I'm gonna have to guess that's because the terpenes that are associated with it. And I know a lot of people contribute to terpinolene to a lot of haze strains, but I don't know if that's for sure. I don't know if the Super Silver Haze that I smoked that made me not feel good, and also has a smell locked in my head to now, if I smell that again, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, this smells like that Super Silver Haze that I had that I didn't like." I'm gonna stay away from it. I've never uh, I've never had a vial and a scent strip of terpinolene and got a familiar enough sense of what terpinolene smells like to know that that's the terpene I don't agree with, so. But I don't know,
Just
a lot of fake raspberry. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is a fact, but if you look it up, at least it's an urban legend that fake raspberry or synthetic raspberry comes from beaver scent glands or some crazy shit like that. So that's what makes me weary about non-cannabis derived essential oils or terpenes.
I'm not so crazy about that idea. The not any kind of non-cannabis terpenes being reintroduced into extracts.
Mm.
It doesn't strike me good. I know they say the same terpene profile can be, found in other plants. Terpene is a terpene. It's basically whatever
Mm-hmm.
as far as that goes. But I think there's got to be something with the chemical makeup, the way it's derived. It just can't be the random chance of
Yeah.
the
Well,
smell. You know what I mean?
yeah, without going into something that would take way too long to go over every little detail of how true that is. Um, to start off with,
I
if you
would
do
love to
try
get a
to,
terpene guy on, by the way. Just a straight up, like, schooled terpene guy. I'd love to
yeah,
sit down and have that interview. I think that would be amazing.
I think it would be
Not
good.
that you're not that guy.
Well, I think it would be good just to have someone that's like I said, more academically educated on that, regardless if they're any bit involved in cannabis, because it doesn't really need to be applied to cannabis, because the terpenes, like I said, people will throw this around loosely, but when they say terpene is a terpene, we don't need to even apply cannabis to talk about where terpenes come from or what the elemental makeup or the chemical formula of all that shit is. That all is the same, no matter if linalool comes from lavender or if it comes from cannabis. But it does get cloudy when you talk about any source of lavender or linalool. And those people that know way more about terpenes than me from like an analytical standpoint, where they get to test it all day, they test and they can figure out the exact history of that molecule. So they can look at a sample of oil and be like, well, these are found in essential oils, but the form that they're found in are only created through a synthetic pathway. And a lot of it, to just go super basic, is just the way that they're labeled. And it just is a way to designate what the left and right hand side that the molecule is formed in. And that's just called chiral or chiralysis. And that's most chemicals, they call either D for right or L for left. So the D is dextro, it just means right, whatever Latin or whatever language that is, and L for labo, which means left. But some molecules in essential oil, or pretty much all of them, have a left and a right hand form. And some that doesn't change the makeup very much at all. And then some it completely 100% changes, like dill and spearmint. There's carvone and there's D-carvone and L-carvone. And spearmint and dill both have carvone, and they both smell completely different. So the only thing that separates the way that we sense the difference in those two molecules is just the left hand or right hand form that they're in. So just that tiny little flip flop or reverse form of a molecule makes our nose totally sense it in a mirror opposite, just like it's a left and right hand, and the left and right hand are mirror opposites. When those molecules are flipped around, they hit a different receptor and correspond totally different. Like I said, I don't want to go too far
Carbon
into
makeup doesn't have nothing to do with it. It seems like the carbon density in the
well, that's
makeup would have something to do with it.
the end molecule is the same, but the molecule tells the story of where it came from. In phyto I guess phytochemicals are the ones that are coming from plants. They can see, and there's not chemical residuals of it, and then they analytically test another sample and it's got those same components, but it's got all those minor components of the reagents you need to synthesize those, and super minor component or minor constituents, right? So and most of them are just, I don't know the exact origin, but they're mainly petroleum synthesized. They come in some petroleum form and they can synthesize it to make theoretically any terpene, because all terpenes are hydrocarbons, and all petroleum, like one of the building blocks of essential oils and these kind of things are alkanes. And like alkanes end in ane, like methane or butane or octane. And then it goes into terpenes, which end in, or alkenes, which end in ene. just like acetylene or terpenes, so there you can get to linalool from gasoline, whatever. The same thing you can make gasoline with, crude oil, you can make linalool, because the chemistry is not too far off. Like you said, the carbon chains. The only two elements you're working with a terpene is carbon and hydrogen. And because it's a hydrocarbon and gasoline is a hydrocarbon, it's already there. So you either got to chop a little bit off or add a little bit on too. Boom, right there, you got your linalool. Unless you get it tested from a lab that knows what they're looking for, they would never know the difference. And the whole thing is, it's not just outright dumped into a bottle, because your senses might even be able to tell you so. But what it's used to do is used to just top off bottles. So like say some perfume company is real, they want to make a cheap knockoff of some perfume, and it's got patchouli oil in it or something like that. Instead of buying the exact amount of patchouli oil that you need for that recipe or that formula, they'll buy like 75%, to cut costs. And then they'll buy 25% of synthetic patchouli oil, which costs, a tenth of the cost, right? So then they top it off, and then it makes it even harder to test, because it's diluted within a more pure compound. So now not only is it just tiny little spikes when you do get a test, but now it's even tinier spikes because you basically mixed it with what you're trying to mask it with. So I think it was, I don't know, not paying attention, or not looking at chat right now to see if Chad Westport's in there right now, but he was asking about a company that's been around for a while, and I've heard mixed reviews of. I used to have friends that on here on YouTube that were reviewers, or like the one-time sponsorship where they give you a bunch of free samples and you're supposed to whatever, hype them up, that whole thing. And I know those people didn't really know any better. They just said, this is good, this is bad, I like it, I don't like it. They didn't really read into the science of it. But then one other thing that scared me about it is how I mentioned about the esters, aldehydes, and the ketones. If people hear a little bit of the words and that sound familiar, if you hear aldehyde, maybe the first thing that comes to your mind is formaldehyde, right? So maybe the components of essential oils that are aldehyde based may or may not be good to be dabbing on in pure form. I know a lot of people, that's another thing, people might get they might over exaggerate how bad high purity terpenes are for you, but it's maybe because they're only generalizing that term terpenes, and they're using that to encompass all those other components, like I said, the aldehydes. So terpenes, I'm sure in large abundances and volumes, are perfectly safe, right? But maybe not aldehydes. And this, I don't even want to name the company, but they would sell their mixed varieties, like it's like supposed to be OG Kush. And that's, a bunch of either plant derived or synthetically derived terpenes mixed in a bottle to make it smell as close to possible as OG Kush as they can get it. That's another thing too, is I'll talk about how hard it is to get to that exact minute detail. But they also sold the pure forms, and one of them that they sold was citral. And a lot of people kind of think that's like you get limonene from oranges and you get citral from lemons, which citral is in lemons and it's in a lot of other things. It's actually, depending on where you grow roses, it's like the second most dominant component in rose essential oils, citral. But it's an aldehyde, and they would sell just a bottle of this, right? And people may or may not know any better, and then they're dabbing on that, So I don't know that's necessarily a good thing. I prefer, I for one probably wouldn't do that as much as as weird as that sounds with someone that has a giant BHO slab in front of them talking about like health precautions. But as much as I know about, different chemicals, and as much as I know people don't investigate stuff, there's like a fear thing based around terpenes. When I said, like how I said, it's overgeneralized, and there's more minor components like those ketones, the esters, the aldehydes. That might be more damaging. That's all. So that I could, me and Alex Hardy could definitely go back and forth on the long fucking explanations.
Nothing wrong with that. I appreciate it myself, to be honest with you. That's one thing too. Is I think people need to know more and more on terpenes, what terpenes are, how they affect them, and just overall what role they play in cannabis. When they're choosing strains. So that's one thing I hate about the current, provisioning center setups. That whole, you can't even judge a strain by its terps anymore. That number never meant shit to me, to be honest with you, Red Pill.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was back like on the buying side, even when I'm on the buying side, period.
Mm-hmm.
That number don't mean shit to me. It really doesn't. That's not what I base my decision on. It's always if if I'm lucky enough to be able to, smell or do some kind of, terpene judgment on my own,
Mm-hmm.
that's usually what I go by. If I can't put a nose to it, it's usually I'm looking at the menu going, oh, that strain. I haven't had that strain yet. You know what I mean? That's
Mm-hmm.
talk about strain. I've been wanting to try that. But again, the numbers are usually rarely play into that. It's more I just want to try that. Or this works for me by numbers.
Yeah, I mean, even when I prospect future, how I want to grow my seed collection or potential genetic library, that's not any concern of mine. It's more of, I would call it legacy, like in ChemDog's case. I think the ChemDog genetics have proven themselves over time as themselves and put into hybrids. Pretty much makes gold no matter what. So I don't care what the THC is of any ChemDog strain. I just like it for what it is, and uh, I appreciate how it's proven over time. You know, in that case, and then other stuff is when I first started buying seeds, it was based on all my interactions with every strain before then. Like we're saying, like when you don't really have a choice and your only two ways of either accepting or passing on the weed that you need is looking at it, because maybe just as much as smell way back in the day was identifying it by sight to even make sure it was weed that someone was giving you. But smell after that. So with that, and then experience after that. So all those, I already had like a database when I found a place to order seeds from. I'm like, ooh, all the favorites, all my favorite strains that I have over time, I'm going to see if I can get seeds to. So that's what led to building a seed library of, I know all the stuff that I basically like already, or I know what my preference is. So I'm going to buy all of those. And then in a future time, pheno hunt, lock down what it was based on my experience with it, or the seed description that I trust based on my experience with it. Get what I once had, but now instead of having it only one time in a bag and once it's gone, it's done. Now I have that plant again. Now I can let that experience live. live on longer. That's basically what I'm going to do again. You know, I'm after stuff that I know I already like, I just don't have, you know. That in the beginning of growing, I didn't even, in the very beginning of growing, I did keep clones. Then I stopped keeping clones and, you know, kicked myself in the ass for not doing that because, you know, like once a year I'd lose something that I like a lot and would really wish I had. So that's what I mean. I've done it before. Like I had that one freebie seed of Coltrane from DNA Genetics, and that was ridiculously good when we talked about dabbable forms of hash that you could smoke, but also dab. This was grinder keef that was full melt and was dabbable from this Coltrane. So that experience led me to buy Coltrane seeds, like actual pack of it, to try and get that phenotype again. And I didn't, but it was still good weed. I just didn't get that phenotype again. In that particular cycle of growing it, it was because I was so let down. It was my least favorite plant of that crop. And I traded it for something to a buddy of mine, and he was super impressed with it. Like how we were both looking at the trade and thinking like, you know, who's getting the better end of the stick here? And I was kind of feeling like a dick, like I didn't really have to give him the stuff that I didn't like the least, you know, like the least out of my garden. I probably could have gave him stuff that I like maybe second most, or why didn't I give him stuff I like the best, you know? And then he was just so happy with it. And I'm like, oh, that's off my conscience, you know? So, but yeah.
It's always tough to give up your number ones and number twos. And I appreciate that, to be honest with you. You know, I look forward to certain strains when I see people. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
would bum me out to have that shit in my garden because it would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look like just like I said, I look forward to certain strains when I see certain people, and I like that.
It
I
also
like that. You
happened
know what I
with
mean?
Sour Kush. I had a freebies, and they're both DNA strains too. Maybe I got and they were both, I'm almost certain it was the same batch of promos or freebies too. I just got super lucky. But I had a Sour Kush that came out just like Tangy before they released Tangy, which is very odd, but it was extremely orangey to where no, you know, little experienced people with cannabis would smell a jar and I'd be like, what does this smell like? Just name it right off the bat. Tell me what you think. They're like oranges, you know. And then a little bit more experienced people, when they would get that, they'd be like, oh, you had weed that dried out. So you put orange peels in the jar and that's why it smells like orange. I'm like, oh, I swear I didn't do that. You know, it's just orangey terpenes. And then that made me buy same thing, another pack of Sour Kush. And none of them were orangey. If anything, none of them were even like OG-ish. All of them were pretty sour diesel dominant that time, which was pretty odd. But there's a few things I'm after. Like I said, Vortex, I had a pretty good seed collection. That was my thing. Anytime I ordered seeds off Attitude, I would complete the order with either a 5 or 10 pack of Vortex, depending on how much money I had left over for the purchase. I think I had about 60 Vortex seeds in different 5 and 10 packs saved up from like 2009 to 2013. The plan was to get to 110. I wanted to do a pheno hunt from 100, but based on the age and the collection of those seeds, I wanted to start 110 and make sure I had those 100 to pheno hunt with. And like I'm saying, my interaction and, you know, the that magic event that I had with Vortex to begin with was what I was going to look for in that pheno hunt. And I wanted to, maybe in this case, now knowing what I know, I would probably have done better doing outcross and back crossing to get what I want if I were to find that same phenotype. But back in the day, my plans were to find that female that is closest memory that I could find But the reason for starting 100 of them would be trying to find the identical matching male. You know, try to find the male that's as close as to that female that I like. And then by doing that, making my line breeding selections a lot easier rather than how a lot of people do, and how Alex was talking about preservation. You know, if you have 4 seeds, you start 4 seeds, 3 of them are females and 1 of them is a male. It's the only 4 seeds of that variety that you have. You have no idea how to get more of that, let alone even know if there is any more of that to get. So to preserve that, you let that, or, you know, I've mentioned to Bingus or other people that I'm not necessarily totally down with doing multiple males on one or multiple females, because then you're just going to have to do more math to figure out what you got. But in a preservation sense, like I said, if you got 4 or 5 seeds to start out with, you can have 2,000 or 3,000 if you let all the males pollinate all the females. So having 3,000 seeds to work with is a lot better than having 5. But if you're trying to make a line breeding project the least pain in the ass as possible, then doing the most exact F1 and F2 selection as you can is going to make everything a whole lot easier. You're basically winding up with a F3 and F4 that would otherwise take a lot of people at like 6 or more to get to, because the F2 is such an open gene pool. Unless you can grow thousands of seeds at a time, it's going to be really hard to find that male and female that are pretty much the exact same phenotype.
Sorry, Red Bill.
Yeah.
So do you got some, what are your plans for today? You got an Easter dinner you're gonna enjoy? By the way, I haven't said happy Easter all night long. So happy Easter.
Yep.
To those
Happy Easter.
lives.
I might see family. I got some family that wanted me and my dad to go out to lunch or something like that, or breakfast. I don't know. That might end up happening, or they might just come visit after they're done going out to eat. But pretty much a chill day. It's going to be nice again. I'm preparing. I pretty much got the area planned out and measured that I want to do the raised bed. It's going to be along my south-facing fence. Because it's along a fence and I'll only be able to access one side of it, I'm only making it 2 feet deep instead of like a normal 4 foot, wide raised bed. It's going to be a foot tall. I would like to do it 16 inches maybe, but then you have to maybe cut your own board or get special cut boards. It's just going to be easier if you do it 1 foot, but it's going to be 24 feet long. So 2 feet deep, 24 feet long, 1 foot high. And it's going to have sweet peppers, spicy peppers, cherry tomatoes, regular tomatoes, eggplants, and cucumbers. And I want to have that done. I want to have it completed and have those plants in the bed before May 1st or by May 1st. Because unless we get a cold snap, I'm feeling like the weather is so good right now. I'm already missing out on a good garden season, this year. So the sooner the better.
Happy 420 there, Red Pill.
Yep.
Still good. Gotta get through them with that song.
I've been a little chatty.
Down.
I got to hit my chillum or pass it to Chad.
So I don't even know what the fuck I was missing in chat tonight, but everybody else seemed to be pretty entertained with what was going on. Chad can be crazy some nights. I did look back a little bit and I seen a couple terms and I was like, yeah, all right, I'm not looking back any further.
I, I don't know if Alex has written a book about anything yet, just about cannabis or about his life or memoir or anything, but he's got enough stories too.
He said he had a book about the fireman thing. He wrote a book
Okay.
about the fireman adventure.
Okay. I know he had to have at least one. That's he has a storybook life. Fast refresh.
I've been doubling time on this hash, man. Passed it to a few people lately. Lucky people, I would say. Departed with my hash. Hey, man, next time I see them, they were like, man, that fucking hash was amazing. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate your input. I do appreciate it. I think it's good. Put away some pretty decent material. Cheers. Yeah, yeah. I gotta get up and do some cooking. I do the cooking. I do the holiday cooking around here, if you believe it, Red Bill. Actually, I always have used, but it's getting better. Lexi's turning into quite the little cook. I appreciate that. I knew I would at some point that shit would come into play, and I do enjoy a meal I don't have to cook. It's just something about a good meal you don't have to cook.
The
I
number
enjoy
one
cooking.
thing I don't like about it is the cleanup. Sure, that's with a lot of people, but it all sounds good, when you're hungry, but then after,
So, just like anything else, I don't get me wrong, Red Pill. I enjoy cooking, and I am a very good cook. But anymore, it's like I said, I I can. With that being said, I appreciate the free time. You know what I mean? I put all these years. I've been the one to put in the cooking, all that shit, making dinner and shit. So now that they're a little bit older and they make dinner, that gives me a little bit of extra time to do my watering or whatever the fuck I got to do around the house. So nowadays, as much as I do enjoy my own cooking, I enjoy the fucking free time to just run up and go, oh, this is my plate. That's nice as well.
you just follow that scent trail like in the cartoons.
I get yelled at for bacon a lot, man. When we make bacon, oh, I love one of my favorite is when I lived down in the Flint area, there was a couple butchers that you could buy like ends and pieces. And then I finally found a spot up here where you could get bacon ends and pieces. The miscuts, like the little
Mhm.
thick ends, like little hunks, they're almost like ham hunks and shit.
Mhm.
Oh, so good. So that's what we get. And every time she fries up some ham, man, I'm in there just. She's like, how do you eat that? I can practically eat bacon right out of the pan. She's like, get
Yeah.
out of here. I constantly get chased out of the kitchen with bacon. It's good.
Do you like pork belly? Actual
Oh, yeah.
non-stripped bacon? Uh, it's always good in a whole hog roast. But the recipe that I want to try is pork belly burnt ends. So you cube it, you smoke it, and then you sauce it, and then you finish smoking it to sticky up the sauce. And I, I can only imagine how good it tastes based on like you like bacon, you like smoked. If you like smoked meat, you like bacon, then you make your own sauce to your own liking. Only just yeah, it'll be being smoked and cooked this summer, especially if I can get my smoker, which I've been probably the only reason I didn't is because of all the whole COVID situation last year, which been sound like more of a reason to cook at home. But it was only because where I was back in Colorado before, pre-COVID, I didn't get it. And then moving out here messed that whole plan up. So wasn't going to do it through the winter time, but now it's spring again. So second chance.
Man, I enjoy a good smoker too, man. Mine's a few years old. I think probably about 8, 9 years old. I'm probably overdue for a new one. But I love to smoke food. It's one of them things that progressed, from just grilling to the rotisserie. And once I got anything I could stick the fucking skewer through on the grill. Once I, went through that, I progressed to the smoker there. And I do love some smoked food. Just all the time, man. Low and slow, man. That's the key to good smoke. Falls apart. Oh, brisk. That's my favorite
Yeah,
thing to
brisket.
smoke or cook on grill. So good. So good.
That's what inspired me to do it. It's because I moved away from my favorite barbecue place. Well, I want to say favorite because it's not like I've gotten to try a fucking more than I have fingers and toes restaurants. So the only barbecue place that I liked back in Colorado. I liked a lot of things. I liked the ribs, the turkey, but mainly the brisket. That's what I was stuck on. And that's like I said, what inspired me. Me being cut off of that is what inspired. Uh, there's no place to get brisket where I'm at here, so it's up to me to do it.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the cheapest way, man. There for a while, man. It was decently priced, man. You could pick up a nice bris, 20, 25 bucks for a good sized bris that, you could have a barbecue for your friends. And I was doing a bris like once a week at one point on the grill. Just slow and barbecue. Once that thing fucking start falling apart, that's when you hit it with your favorite barbecue sauce. Oh, it's good, and that's another thing too. You're not gonna barbecue it, like I said, cook it till it falls apart and barbecue it like that. You have to cut it right. The proper cutting of the brisket is
Yeah.
key. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's very tough. It can be
Per,
tough,
yeah.
no
You
matter
go
how you cook it.
perpendicular to the grain. So
Make myself hungry right
yeah, I know. I tend to do that half the time in the hangout calls. If we're there for like more than 2 hours, someone's gonna bring up food, and then everyone slowly drops out one by one because we're progressively making each other more hungry.
Enjoy. We'll have an experience today. That's another thing I've been really fucking keen on lately. Man, asparagus is good. And no matter how I've cooked it, I started out sauteing it in butter. I've grilled it a few times. Oh, just as good. Little
Mhm.
olive oil, whatever, garlic salt, little pepper, then fucking grill that shit. Oh, super good. And then lately I've been same thing, a little bit of butter, a little bit of garlic salt, a little salt, pepper, and then bake it. Bake it. So
Yeah,
all All
Yeah,
that,
that's a good
all
combo.
goodness stays right there in the pan. Oh, so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's a good combo right there. That's something that my mom would make randomly. Like that was her munchies. Once in a while, she'd just fry up bacon, make asparagus. Like some people would open up Doritos or something like that. She would start like cooking weirdly paired things together.
Lexi just made bacon wrapped asparagus the other night. To be honest with you,
Mhm.
it's pretty
And you
good.
saying asparagus, that reminded me. I settled my fruit craving. Lately, I was craving cantaloupe and pineapple for some reason. So today I haven't got cantaloupe and pineapple earlier. Well, today isn't yesterday. So I'm still up from uh, yesterday. I'm on a
Yeah.
goofy sleep schedule.
Oh
It's
man,
actually
mine
like
gets fucked up too.
it's like a free for all right now. I haven't woken up or fallen asleep uh, same time in like for a week. Yeah.
I look at sleep in weird ways. I use more sleep on like more what the fuck I gotta do. Yes, there's times like if my workload's too fucking steep, nah, I have fucking trouble sleeping. I'll sit there and yell at myself, laying in bed. You could be doing this, you could be doing
Sleep
that, and then
sleep when you
there's
have to because
times,
you know you have to do something. Yeah, it's annoying.
yeah, and then there's like some shit like if I know like it's all garden tasks, you know what I mean, and I have nothing to do tomorrow. I'm like, fuck it, I might as well stay up and do it. You know what I mean? If I've got a little bit of energy, fuck it, I'll stay up and get it done, and then crash out. Whenever. Get 4 or 5 hours sleep, and then get back up, get it. It's all the same. It's all the same in my opinion. As long as I get 4 or 5 hours, don't matter when the fuck I get it. As long as I get it. Weird like that, I guess. Uh, I don't know what they put. I think this fucking. I look on the jar, but it's not. I think this is almost this V8 fucking berry juice. I had Aki the other night, but tonight it's pomegranate blueberry. Man, that shit fucking. I think it's got asparagus in it. To be honest with you, Woo, that shit carries. I think that's what they should be crossing cannabis with is the fucking asparagus turds. Fucking learn how to breed cannabis into them. Because man, you can't shake asparagus turds. They're there.
Make a plant ferment FFJ or wait, FPJ. Sorry, FPJ from asparagus. So, do you have an episode for tomorrow night? Or I'm still calling it tomorrow. It's Easter
Man, I
today.
just fucking realized I've been rambling on with the
Oh
mic
shit.
off. No, red pill. I don't.
Okay. I'm sorry. I should have. Yeah, my bad. I should have let you know.
Oh no, it's my bad. I see it in chat now. Everybody's like, "You're muted. You're muted." God, I hate that. I've been slow on that tonight. Even the guest said a couple times tonight was like, "Yeah, you're muted."
Yeah.
Sometimes I catch it, and sometimes it's like I'm trying to get to the mute button, and my like pointer is like way off on one of these other screens. And I gotta fucking find where the pointer is real quick, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. And then Monday, same thing. Just a wormhole late or
well, let's
wormhole
see.
time.
Tonight is a guest. Uh, Phenomenal Genetics at 11:30.
Mhm.
There is a guest, but not like a special. I seen somebody ask me that the other day if there's going to be like a 24-hour.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Is Jesus going to be the guest for Easter?
that would be odd.
There could only be one special guest. Come on, it's like an Easter thing. Like you book certain people on, you give them one little hint, like, okay, we're gonna have a 420 guest. It's not Snoop Dogg, that kind of thing. Like it's Easter. First on the list is Jesus. That's who special guest on Easter is reserved for.
I could just see the lashback from that. That'd be woof. That'd be steep. I ain't going down
I'm,
that
I'm
road.
I'm just picturing South Park Jesus though, for some reason. Cartoon South Park Jesus. I don't know.
Currently, I'm still venturing down the Buddhist road, but I'm not rocking the boat. There is some type of gods,
You know,
whatever, by whatever name you wish.
whatever it means, like if you're not supposed to have any false idols. Another thing I was brought up with, and I don't give a shit what it means, I just think it's cool, is my mom collected Buddhas, right? She'd have a whole bunch of Buddhas, little tiny ones, big tall ones, all different. Mainly the big fat smiley one, right? Not Smiley Gardens, but Buddha, the smiley Buddha, right? So I don't know. I could see me doing that too. I could probably get carried away with the Buddha collection just because I was brought up with Buddhas in the house. Doesn't have anything to do with me being a Buddha, me not supposed to have a Buddha statue if it's bad to have false god idols, I just think it's cool.
Call what you want. He helps.
Mhm.
He helps keep me in check. I don't know if it's a. He's not. It's not necessarily. It's not a god or religion. It's a philosophy more.
Yeah, it's just the whole like in statue form, it's like what people at one time people did, literally pray to statues, or if you want to go down crazy rabbit holeville to the Bohemian Grove, you know, that's there because there's uh, it's a replica of a idol that was in Babylon that people would sacrifice babies to. Am I going down a crazy road, or is this?
Oh no.
Did we just went from terpenes to sacrificial ceremonies? But uh, that's what I mean. Just, you know, it started from a bad place. So that's, I mean, someone might be like, why do you got a bunch of Buddha statues? I would have to explain to them that whole thing. Like, my mom had Buddha statues. I thought they were cool as a kid. It doesn't mean anything.
Comfort
Don't
of,
get any ideas.
just a comfort of home. It's just a
Yeah.
simple answer.
I don't pray to, I don't, it's not, I'm not, I don't do, anyways. I just took 2 fat dabs back to back. That's what's talking right now. It's got me thinking of, it's taking me down memory lane and making me think of South Park Jesus and Buddha statues.
Buddhist good study if you haven't looked into it. Well, Miss Red Pill, I figure it's 4:43. If I run quick enough, I can probably get out and shut her down just under 5 o'clock, if not 5 o'clock, and either get Easter dinner started or fall out just in time to get back up to get it started decently. Uh, Either or.
Alrighty then. Well, I enjoy
But
this candlelight for two, tea for two wormhole this time.
me too, man. I love the banter, the two-person episodes. To be honest with you, it gets conversation going pretty good. I've enjoyed it, man. You taught me some shit tonight on the extract side of things. So thank you, my friend.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for having me again. I like the positivity I feel when I around here, people in chat and all that. It's it's like it's a place where I don't feel crazy. You know what I mean?
That's one thing that I've heard throughout a lot of these stories is, cannabis made me feel normal. And
Yeah.
it does. It always does me too. But I think that's a common bond for a lot of us, to be honest.
I don't have you know actual day-to-day life. I don't have like a lot of people I can always have 2 or 3 hour long conversations about this. This is almost in my life almost exclusively something that happens online or through the internet. I didn't really grow up with people that are as enthusiastic about cannabis as I am. So it's like I would call it venting or therapy almost, to be here. You know what I mean? So
Uh, Hopefully that changes, my friend. Hopefully that changes. Like I said tonight, man, I was just out doing some quick errands tonight and ended up fucking finding myself basically standing on a soapbox preaching cannabis and cannabis use and how it should be viewed and not demonized. And I didn't see it, but man, I find I find the fight is still very strong in me.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
there'll come a day where we can openly talk about it no matter where. Actually, it's happening. It's getting more pretty frequent here in Michigan. I have a lot of cannabis conversations
Mhm.
almost directly across the street from the place I'm talking to you about. But at the Walmart, right in the lobby or right when you walk in, I seem to catch a lot of people talk cannabis right in Walmart. I think it's fucking
Mm.
hilarious.
Well, uh, another part of these conversations is um, I have a pretty bad. I kind of tend to get anxiety. This makes me less anxious about time passing, meaning like I I try to remind myself that there's a lot of life to live, and I'm technically still young, you know, more life to experience. And one thing I have a problem with is, you know, getting angry about, you know, missed opportunities and time wasted and all that kind of shit. And uh, not being able to, you know, engage in certain things and then like be as progressive as I want to be right now. You know what I mean? In the circumstance of things. So when I'm sitting here and you even now just chilling with you, or if there's a whole bunch of people in the chat, it makes me feel better. As in like I'm less left out, you know, because it's kind of I'm sure everyone can imagine it, and that a lot of people experienced it, but to have it and then lose it, you know, and then want it again, it's, you know, almost like torture, you know what I mean? So I during the day when time's moving by slow, it sucks. But I try to like tell myself like, well, it's not that really that bad, because if I do stay where I'm at and they do legalize it in 2023, it sounds bad because it's not 2023 yet, but that's not, it's not like and you know, thank God or thank Buddha, I'm not on my deathbed, you know. So I'll make it till 2023. I can wait. I can be patient. And then, but it kills me that waiting game till that time, you know, to then have to pick up and kind of make up like on lost time, like I'm saying. And my bad to uh, linger on. Sorry.
Never your bad, man. You're always welcome here. No, I fucking mean to play the fucking music. I moved my fucking shit around and it just hit the button. I fucking felt like an asshole. I actually was like looking around, like, where the fuck is that shit coming from? And I realized it was so. But you're always welcome here, Red Bill. Yeah, I can't see the chat, man. They've been saying nice things about you all night long. So you should go back and check out the chat, man, because we got much, not just me, but they have much love for you too, Red Bill. So, and I appreciate you coming and hanging out, man. There's no way, no way if it were just left to me that I would have made it this long tonight, or even probably 2 4 20. So I greatly appreciate you coming on and hanging out. Like I said, man, you taught me some shit tonight.
Mhm.
You know, never know where knowledge comes from,
Yeah.
how you're gonna use it.
Yep. I just wish I could play the show and tell part more, you know. That's the part. It's not that bad. You'll see with the raised bed, you know, I mean, people, you know, not the same, you know, it's not something I get to smoke at the end. I'm not gonna be smoking any tomatoes or eggplants or anything like that. So, but it's something that people will see and then just you can imagine. Just replace the tomato, the cannabis plant in your imagination. And if a tomato plant looks really good, then the weed plant might look really good, and then it'll be like a suspense thing, and it's like a long drawn out thing. Cause like I say, you gotta wait till 2023, hopefully. But in the meantime, unless something changes radically, unless there's like um, a micro pole shift and somehow Wisconsin is where California is right now, then things will have to wait. But I'm gonna sign up. Thank you, Eagle, for having me again. And I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate everyone in chat. So
You have a good holiday, and hopefully we'll see you tonight in the wormhole, my friend.
yep, I'll try to make it. Yep, peace out.
Peace out. Have a great day, my friend. Well, unfortunately, guys, it is time to listen to me ramble for 15 minutes. You poor, poor people. But know this, I have had a great episode, great night both Alex Hardy and Red Pill. Both. I've enjoyed my night greatly, and a great day as well. I'm looking forward to having a happy Easter, and I wish you guys all have a happy Easter as well. Trying to find me something to bramble on to. Uh, well, here we go. I do this one quite a bit because I don't get in trouble with it. Holy fuck! And I don't get in trouble with it. And that's Spirited Harmony. Spirited right into suggested a while back ago by Dank Grower. I think I'm ready. A little bit of juice there. Yeah, somewhat in order. Close enough. Cheers, everybody. Of course, always top the list. What's up, cool? I miss you, brother. These House of Dank, Mama Law, 710, Scarecrow, 420, Green Thumb, Bum, Christina MG89, Unplugged 705, Medical Magully Cuddy, Rick T, the Rebel, the 19207, the Fabian Salinas, Dave Sign here, Tom Spooked, Gary Walker, Mendo Dope, T Dog, Dung Beetle, Red Eye Jedi, Grows, Mother Nature, Justin Conway, Duckweed, Run Boy 7426. How did I fuck that up? I said it 1,000 times. Justin Gooder, Strongman, Okie Grower 75, Corey Trevor, Michael Wallace, Small Vision 420, Ujo Cat Daddy, Cat Daddy, Taco Don Slug, Modern Genetics, Rick S, Into Bushes 827, James Seaman, Kevin Hahn, World's Last Hope, Pats Fan 420, Biomentor, Dirt Road Dude, Kim Shiba, Jose Ramirez, Red Eye Rustler, Deb Goblin, Dr. Buzz Lightyear, Stone, 710 Canuck, Canna Queen Genetics, Stabby Tanaze, Fumador, Dirtman Dan, Keith the Black Sails, Mr. Bacillus, Stunton, Greenwood Gardens, Rasta Bob, Rasta Jeff, Soiled Root, Small Tubes, Tyler Frosty Buds, Norm Michigan Micro, Ouija Buds, Stub T Roy, Big Jar Grows, JC, SoCal Weed Nerd, John Last PPJ, Ford 15, Green Country Grower, CJ Apple, Perfectly Imperfected, Dollar Tree Grower, T1 Productions, Stink Grower, DOA Grow Meds, we miss you. Miss Nudie Grows, Genevieve Eats Weed on YouTube, that is. I Grew Some, Johnny Candace, Nutrient Shootouts, Naughty Nikki, Zoe and Slammer, NNY, Pixel Monkeys, St. Bernard's Observation Booth, Clover 420, High Spy, Aldrich 25, Miss Madam T, Stu Moo, Bo Grower, The Cannon Crate, Loki Grows, Cass, this guy 79, Sus, this guy Burton 79, Polish Hammer, Midwest Outlaws, Voodoo Ultras, Fresno Nerds, Kelly Connection, Voodoo Ultras, Big Jar Grows, Jimmy One for Life, Laid Way Back Farmer, D Block, MMP, Nations Creations, Amber Lalana, Psychedelic Warlock Artist, LD, Sir Sticky, Rob, Big Dave, or Big Rob, Big Dave 420. God, I can't believe I fucked that up. Brent Window, Big Ed, 1961, Manawani G3, The Green Cliff, J&K, Triple G, Mr. Sprinkler, Brittany, Tyler Teasley, Hope Farms, Lisa G, John, Be Too Crazy for You, BG, Ford, BG, 420. God. Dr. Boswell, Purple Thumb OG, Arthro, Sensimilia, Anthro, Sensimilia, Anthro, there we go, Just Space 420, Beach Coast Grower 420, Sure How, Trey Balone, Keep It Real, Egerton 420, Subs Up with Audit Everywhere, BT, Double D, Grows, Bingus, Green Puffin Man, Ex-Boy Chef Life, School of Crop, Cause I Love It, Green Mountain Grower, Southwest Okie, Real 100, 212, Miranda Family Farms, Page Farms, Mia All Flower, Brian Henderson, Green 13, Noob Sailbot Wins, Kingdom, Aquaponics, Indra, Michigan Native, Mary Jane's Med Garden, Streamer 77, Double D, Bad Bunny, Nutrients, Mr. Green Pots, Mr. Green Notes from 619 to 664, Spaniard, Cougar, Jones and Grow, Papa T Grows, Raz, Amy, Dro Grows, Cass, the Grow From Your Heart podcast, Lily, Luna, the Green Men Flock, Jeremiah, Miranda, Sony Creek, Lost Art, Mr. No One, LG 420, Giant Mike, Prometheus, Soil, Jason Eyestone, P. Win, David Colby, Mason 662, Scroggy McScroggington 4th, Goddess Grows, Kaylee, Chad and Brad Family Farms, Polly P. Fjord, Kevin Jodry, Mike Hacho, Jay Huggins, UDA, Green Tree Hugger, Kish Cloud, Joshua Seaton, Organic Home Buds, Warren Nelson, Cam Wood, Maine Mystic, Show Love Always, Kelly Stone, Texas OG, Chuck Norris, Sarge B, Claire Fresno, Happy Guy, Dan the Indoor Man, Grow Me Homies, Hamilton Gross, Clip Smoke, Keystone Cannon Flag, BA Big High 710, Eugene Greeley, Ace Drew Hustle, Fred Durn Carlos, North Arizona Beer Grow 420, No Saw, Jesse White, Gastain Yeti, Introvert, Genetics, Oso J, Vixen Robin, Killer 8 Mo, Kane, James Buttercream, Seed Up from NorCal, the Pharmacy Seed Bank, Jed Head, Smokey 616, Curtis Mayhem, Matt Myron, Morte, Rick Heyman, Stephanie Dora, and Tennesseeds, Vicarious K, Mike Rubles, the Drew Beer 420, Maxi 751, Lawrence Gonzalez, Slow to Get Up, Stu Moons, Papa 719, Baker Shake Baby, Old Smoke, PWC, Grown Buds, Laura Wash, Mr. Weedblum, Old School Grower, Chad Westport, Ancho Grown, Fuller Nugs, My Little Piece of Heaven, Pungent Sound Seeds, Goliath Grower, Richard D, Chrissy Wannabe, Mr. Soul, Boom Spectrum, Gone God, Lori Hanson, Real, 2,000 years of tradition. Mr. D. Conley, Pimp Jam, McBodie Face, Show Me, Scatswatch, Smuck, Google, and you. I'm going well. Canadian Resource, Porter, Farmer, Carl Wright, Zephyr, Humboldt Farms, Tannery Farm, Seldom Seen, Oak Park Gardens, Hal 9782, Skunky Pallets, Mike Show, Artist 2012, Micro Slave Hefner, Daniel McDizzle, Medically Fit, KGB, Robert, Mr. Greenfingers, Thomas, Rancher Coast, Plenty, Monkey Balls, Andrew Champlin, Bobby Lynn Means, Trent Digger, Mr. Mag, Tony Like Blown, and We Please, Tater Delicious, Minty Country Roots, here on Fire Gen X, Earth Creeper, Big Ray 420, Teeny 101, Buds and Hazard, Mr. Club 14, Bearded B-Man 616, Snarl Up, Max Screwman, Ruby 311, Mix Up, Kinder Grows, Evergreen, G's French, Trees, MMJ, Matt Save Ball, Dragonfly Beef, Justin's Mad, Travis, Walls, Lucky Mike, Seattle Chronic Seeds, King Chronic, Titan from Blessed Post Seeds, Shango, Gas, Bastard for Life, John Smith, Tommy Trico, Smoke King, Raz, Pop Little, Slow Roll, Spiky Pilot, Oscar Green Jr., Matt Steelbud, Endo 11, Stephanie B, Shark Bully 989, Von Brown, Sovereign Guard, Stoner Nation, Joe Y Bugs 1313, Grower, Painted Lady, Frank Groove, Jay Myers, Submit to Chat, Mr. Manny D, Backseat, Dr. BGC, Jeff Sterner, 911, Dutch Growth 420, Scallywag 420, Skillbull 1, Medgrower 1, Empire Breeding Co, Mr. Broly, Lost Leaf, Liam Mass, Danny Danko, B Bear Cell, Nolly, Noble, CK, Tom Turndead, Lundy, Jester, Smoking with Small Town, Tim S, Mr. Lazy, Raptor Grows, Robin, Automation is Freedom, Robert Hazelton, Jordan, Michigan Core, Double Tap, Five, Smith Green Thumb 420, 808, Rudy Prospects, Cannon Bus Driver, Hayden Life, Kenny 710, Operation Grow, Seabend, Ford, Rude Nut 619, Hammered E Nails, Dr. Scrambles, BB Moonrocks, GHFWJ, Bio Green, Self Grower, Haggy Stinky 420, OGKP, Conjanetta, Your Mama, Georgia Joe, Roy Rodriguez, B Growing, Nature's Best Nug, Killer B Grows, Conja Wizard, Husky Gardens, Nut Tree 420, Dr. Ooh, Soul Life, Fully for Life, the Jeffro 420, Beat 698, Dr. Franklin Booty, Goddamn Unbaked Ted's Test. The Riffin Fat Boy, Jack Greensong, 420, 420, Booms Farm, Charlie Farm, 420, Aldridge, Smiley's Farms. Happy Easter, my friend. JD's, Miss D's Nugs, Smoking Grove, Frazier, Grove Koski, Twisted Roots, Faded Farm 420, Jeff Dorosky, Genetic Memory Farms, and Ball 420, Cameron, Mr. Bagsy, Jill Carberry, Mystic Marks, Mystic Grower, Ginger Snap, CTE, Rose, Rick Wolf, DLP 2372, Ned Denver, Mike Denver, Sergeant Pepper 420, Cannon Trooper, Blind Cat 420, Light Up Again, Tim, UKSIF 420, Buddha Boy, Devin Chipper, Medical MJ, Budsville, USA, Resurrection Prophet, Chris Martinez, Dankman, Dan, Dankman, 420, Red Setter Farms, Good Luck, Joni Bell, Cheats B, Most Hated Grower, the Major General 420 Army, the American one. Merry Happy Easter to you too, my friend. W Digger 714. Gerate's Kineos Genetics, Mountain Skies, ready to hit that hot fire. Chris Mertz, Ian Save, Robbie, Sergeant Life, Pepper Fade, Cam, Figured Lakes, Finance, Ridge Beds, Dozer Moon, Southern BT Grower, Choose Medical, Jerry Bear, Plus One Mushroom, Secret City, Pioneers, My Little 10, 2042, Spacewalker, Christian, Free Mum, T. Barrington, Heart and Soul, Homegrown, Mike B, T. Dwayne, East Coast Will, Heidi Dave, Galactic Garbage, John Smith, Elliptis, My Natural Farms, Pacific Pacific Northwest Seeds, Ross, Kyle Paul, Lemon Oko. Thank you for stopping, Lemon. Trent Stiger, Rita's Juicy Life, Rita, Richard, 420, Grant Manuel, Mary Bond, Sammy Sizzle, 81, Mayans, Colas, Chris Moe, DK Trades, Vision Creator, Guru, The Kind Brew, Cannon Nation, J Wires, Wob Wobbly, Sean Bids, Rescue Ready, Roadside, Notorious Nugs, Magma Seeds, Father and Son, Dreaming Tutorials, Dub T Dank, Rose Ramirez, Perez, or Jose Martinez Perez. Hey, right there, first time. Doggle the Hut 420, E-Buck, Chiba Man, GR420, Community Videos, Detroit River Rat, Louis Garcia, Michael P, AJ Everyday, Happy Body, Cheddar Bob 13, Bane 420, Mad Growers, Cookie Scoop, Jay Kendricks, Infinite Grill, Backwoods All Good, Sally Mansell, Adam Skankin, Chanel Simpson, One Smoke Away, Ganja Roads, Kazoo, Aaron Burnett, Runes, Mr. Lincoln Stinkin, Angel Studios, MG, the 420 Grow Twin, Paul DLA, John Fleming, Dink Bitch, Chemo F Sky, Polly P, Seldom Seen Elevated, Lenny, Organic Sunman, Chiba Sunny, Jeff Popalik, Ricardo Sosa, Dan J, Earth Friendly Farmates, Candy Forest Farmer, Fuck All That Be, The Misfit Grower, Jason Lion 512, Snake Eyes, Northern 4466, Jason Greystone, Sony Baker, MD, Stony Creek, Russ Sonic, Sun, Fringe Dweller, Tarzan Superman, Old Man Hermit Hats, Freebird, Mo Grower, Manigar, Simple Man, Survival Time, Tim Blake, Gulf Coast Chronic, Stinkback, Caballero, Paletero. I know I fucked that up. Sorry, Caballero. Harley Grower, Jen God, Steve Collins, Ken Kendricks, I'm sorry. Property Maintenance, Sharpie, The Island, Hayes, Scuba Steve Speaks, J.R. Ram, Randy K, Farmer Steve, TCDR, Claire Killian, Wardrobe Farming, Grande, Pip 1000, Ace Food 3223, Wake Up, Captain Freedom B, Pupper Smiles 15 Digit, Michigan Ganja Mooch Ass, Fred G, Super Bob, Richard Forbes, Daniel Pimenta, P4P Funk, Nicka T, John Reese, What About Bob, Prince Patty, Daniel Berman, Green Puffin Man, B Dundley. I'll keep trying. James Chung, Sarge Gross 818, John Wayne, Carolina Ruditz, Sister Golden Hair, Deanna L. Dankarino, K&F Gardens, Blank 1030, choose one only, Pete, Farmer James, Crypto Dope, Dave Chai P. Grower, Matt Javine, Matt Dan Marino, Chronic Wonder, Sunrise Grow, Top Floor Genetics, Mole Vision 420, K2 Cannabis, Jesse Fisher, My Dog Nelia, Rooster, Alex Hardy, Hardy Gear. Thank you very much for popping on tonight. Thank you very much for the gift basket. Thank you, my friend. Many Cropper, Danny Gross Photo, Mitten Grow Med, Sunrise Grows, my girls, Lexi, Brittany, and Koo. Very much. I love you guys. No Limit 916, Grumpy Told, Alchemist and Cannon Minx, Soil Bone Addiction, Grassa Joe, Alex D, Dirty Ore Catfish, High Power, Thunder Dan, Propagation Station, John McDaniels, Lisa Marie, Sarge Grows 818, one more time, Blaze Haley, Pride Piper, Perpetual, Eagle Proud Warrior, Sarah Smiles for You, Frank Usada, The Dank Duchess, Kino, Kelly Maxwell, Captain 420, Stinkfed, What About Bob, Ill-Jester 420, Pop Shrooms, John Gorski, John Doe, Dugan, Gangsta, THC, 4 PTSD, First Shot Tonight, T. Barrington, Hanso Grown, Swamp Cat, Be Best Because, Mr. Bandy D, Canifari, Bowl 20 Abnormal, Franklin Guerrero, Fairfeet, J. Brent 74, CK Brown Guy 420, Peckaderm 420, Burning, Tree, Main, EA, Grave, Sun, Grow 207, Hydro, Grow, Hemp with GG, and Jamie Ream, last but never least, Regis 207. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight on this double episode tonight. Holy shit, getting out of control there, son. This double episode with Alex Hardy, and again followed up in the wormhole with Red Pill. Join me tonight with hopefully my guest will be Phenomenal Genetics. If not, well, it'll be a wormhole. Ah, that was a quick one. I thought like anyway. Yeah. You guys have an amazing day. Most of all, remember to please, please, please do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. I'm a living, breathing example of that. You'll never get me to quit beating that drum. I love you guys. Have an amazing day. Have a happy Easter. Go see some family. Make sure everybody's got what they need. Bake that dish. Call ahead. If you're going to see that family, is there something I can grab? Is there something I can make? Is there something I can pick up? Can I give you a hand? These dishes need to be done. Do you need to be picked up? It's a holiday. Take extra. Pass a little. Have a kinder ear.